Oh, hello there. I'm Dr. P. Today I'd like to talk to you a little about our lesser-known siblings in the grand spectrum of life as we know it on the phylogenetic tree, the protists. Of the eukaryotes, which are the part of the tree in which we belong to, as well as plants, animals, and fungi, there are also many species of organisms that we know very little about. So, to give a brief introduction on the scale and scope of the world beneath our eyes, I'm going to introduce just a few of them to you today. The eukarya branch of the phylogenetic tree is broken down into 8 groups. Of the 8 major groups, red algae is found in the plantae group, which is also where glaucophyte algae, green algae, and land plants are categorized. The 6,000 species of red algae live primarily in marine habitats. One species lives over 200 meters below the surface. Another is the only eukaryote capable of living in acidic hot springs. Many species are red because their chloroplasts contain the accessory pigment phycoerythrin, which absorbs blue and green portions of the visible spectrum. Red algae cells have cell walls that are composed of cellulose and other polymers, and most species are multicellular, though some are single-cell. The vast majority of red algae are photosynthetic, although a few parasitic species have been identified. Red algae is the only type of algae that lack flagella, one of few large hairs on the cell's exterior that facilitate locomotion as seen in the human male sperm cell. Asexual reproduction occurs through the production of spores by mitosis. The second protist we'll briefly examine is the paramecium of the animal-like protists called protozoa. These are considered animal-like due to the way in which they obtain food. Similarly to animals, they're heterotrophic, meaning they seek external sources to consume. Many protozoa cells engulf bacteria and ingest them internally. Their bodies are covered in cilia, which help them move up to 12 body lengths in a single second. In the diagram shown, they are the hair-like material coming off the outside of the cell. They use their cilia to sweep in food into the cell mouth after it falls into the oral groove. Paramecium can be found in freshwater environments. Protistans are fungal-like eukaryotes. They have a nucleus, large ribosomes, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and Golgi bodies. Plasmodial slime molds are one of these fungal-like protists. They're classified under Amoebozoa, one of the 8 eukaryote groupings. They use spores to reproduce and get their energy from decomposing matter. Because these slime molds use spores to reproduce, we know that they reproduce both sexually and asexually, producing both haploid and diploid cells. Slime molds are a prime example of a type of protist that don't live underwater, but instead live in an extremely moist environment. Slime molds can be found in soils, lawns, forest floor, deciduous logs, and fruits. They can even be found in more familiar areas, like mulch or gutters. Plasmodial slime mold involves numerous individual cells attached to each other, forming one large membrane. This supercell is essentially a bag of cytoplasm containing thousands of individual nuclei. They range in color from a bright yellow to a more camouflaged brown. So that was just a bit on protists. Hopefully you learned a little something, and tune in next time. Maybe we'll talk about some of those other fascinating species. I'm Dr. P. See you next time.